Well, this is another day today so far, and basically, this is 2025 of 3/19, 2025. So far, I've asked a cop, I've even called an officer about another officer. Go figure. That basically, I don't know if he's a scammer or not a scammer, and the federal government taking care of pedophiles, man. I got pedophiles of the yin yang that basically all around me, or basically from a far distance with my device, my computer program that I used that has an oopsie daisy that I used that they already made with cell phones, and where you could go ahead and pass information or copy information from any kind of electronic. So any kind of electronic device that this so-called program can copy. I already told them about it. They got rid of it, but then it came back again. And so far, I guess it can be still used. So since there's endless possibilities of other programs being the same thing, where you get transfer data or transfer data to another cell phone and all that kind of stuff. But go figure. I trust this guy that's an officer, and I gave him money, but he says, "Oh, it wasn't me," and this guy says, "Oh yeah, I'll give you your money if you give me $100, $35, and I'm wondering, I'm supposed to trust somebody that's an officer, and I find that very funny. It's like, okay, I want to trust this officer to give me my money. If I give him this much amount of money, I even offer to give this guy a beer, or take him out to a beer, take him out to. I'm gonna tell him I'm gonna take him out to the Bahamas with that money that so rightfully belongs to me." And he says, "Oh, I found your scammer," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm supposed to trust this guy to give me my money, and then I trust all these other officers." And it's like, how many soldiers do I know that are stoners or drug addicts of doing ecstasy, acid, steroids, or heroin or cocaine? It's like, how many cops do I know so far? So far, I only know two of them. I only know two soldiers that are doing drugs in Washington State. And Officer Stoner, that is in Kenmore, that also is also a guy that smokes pot. But since I went and legalized pot for 25 years and counting, and being the inventor of tasty tobacco and all this other stuff, I'm still wondering. It's like, I'm supposed to trust an officer? I thought I was supposed to trust a guy that was from the church. This guy from the church says, "I got you money," and I'm like, "Oh, whoa, this is a miracle. This is what church is all about, so I can have a happy life and live happily ever after, get married, have a wonderful wife and kids and all this other stuff." And I thought, well, this is a blessing. I'll give this guy $175. I gave him $175. Again, this is like the second time now. I gave this guy money. I've given this other guy money. And I'm supposed to trust this guy. And then I try to apologize to the officers, but then it's like, I'm sorry, I don't want to trust an officer anymore. If I can't even have an officer come down to go and identify this person as a thief. And I'm like, okay, this is just great. And then how am I supposed to rely on the officer alone? Wait, technically I went to court to get my name legally changed back to the way it was. And then this judge doesn't even know. And like, hey, are you really who you say you are? It's like, well, I could have said, well, no, I'm born in 1981, and I gotta get away with this kind of stuff. I can't believe it. I'm still getting away with a name change that's illegally changed, that's been legally changed twice, and then I get to get away with changing my year, the day I was born. I get to change that. I get to change my name legally and illegally, and have a John Doe name as well. So I gotta have a John Doe name, and then this judge believes, oh yeah, he's born in 1987. No, judge, I'm sorry. I have another person that supposedly, if he is a cop, doing an investigation on me about my whereabouts for the last, 25 years. Technically, 26 or 27 years to go back that far. I'm hoping that this officer, I'm hoping he's an officer, does this for me. And guess what? You can get away with it in the state of Washington. They won't notice the difference. It's like you lose your identification card. You go into an identification office. You tell them that you're born this year and this day, and your name is something else like John Doe, and you can get away with changing your name illegally in this state. And you can go and say you're a legal citizen in the state of Washington. How funny is that? Basically, even Donald Trump can go and say his name is Mark Allen Morrill, born in 06/15/1987, and then he can change his name completely, so then he won't be found, he won't be caught. He'll just say, oh, hi, Mark, take your medications. Hi, Mark, take your medications. I know this kind of game. I know this game in Washington State. I know this game in Washington State than anything else. Drugs, illegal drugs, legal drugs, illegal drugs, legal drugs, medications, drugs, medications, drugs. They're all the same thing. They're steroids. They don't even realize in their brain that steroids were illegal because they gave heart attacks. They don't even realize basically that steroids are illegal. But then we still use steroids. They want to legalize steroids, so they legalize steroids. And then they legalize ecstasy and acid. And then it's like, then what do you know about these medications, our medications? And how do you know these ones work and they don't work? And then nobody basically believes that technically we're taking drugs, but we're taking illegal drugs to a new level, and we're taking them as legal medications. Nobody gets that. Nobody absolutely gets that in their right mind. Basically, you're taking a steroid and you're taking a muscle relaxer. And then a muscle relaxer mixed in with a steroid that basically poofs it up and poofs it down. Yeah, that's gonna kill you. And then marijuana, yay! Now we're using it, so basically people finally keep their mouth shut. Or shut, so basically this and that and the other. But then, basically it's all because of me. It's all because of me. I talked the big man into doing it, and he did it. And I did that ever since I was 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. And then Mom believes that I'm 37 years old. I'm like, no, Mom, I'm not 37. It's like, I can't get it right if I'm 37 or 36 years old at this moment right now, with a fake ID or with a real ID with a fake year on it. And I'm getting away with this, and then you can go to the judge in the Broadway Everett Washington car office and tell him this guy's running around with a fake name and fake year he was born, but now it's his real name again. And then if this judge, hi judge, I hope you get this message too, judge. I forgot your name, basically. I forgot your name. That made my name legal, back to the legal name, Mark Allen Morrill. I want to say to all the officers and all the, other people, changing your name and trying to get your real name back is really hard, because basically it doesn't make any real sense, basically, when you're trying to go to a car office and your mother or your father believes that you're this age, and they got it wrong because they got brain damage. They got, memory loss. So it's really difficult because, it's technically with somebody that has memory loss to say who you really are, and that's one way to identify yourself. Or if you can get your birth certificate or take a lie detector test, or you would to run an investigation. It's like talking to a judge, like saying, hey judge, this is who he is. And, it's just like, I want to get my own name back, so I can get my full benefits. If I'm allowed to have benefits, because I don't know what the Social Security Act, and I don't know what basically the clause of Social Security is saying, well, you have to be delusional, you have to see things, you have to hear voices in your head, and the CIA love it, the DEA love it, or something, and the DEA do this undercover stuff. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a drug dealer. Yeah, I'm a drug dealer. I mean, how simple is it to basically infiltrate a drug dealer's place? It's easy for me. I mean, I've been investigating with a drug dealer after drug dealer after drug dealer. I know a shitload of drug dealers. I know a shitload of service people. I know basically the 50-50. It's like I'm the part of the gang, and I'm part of the gang, and I'm the gang. So it's like, okay, here we go. There's this, and this, and the other. I make some music on YouTube. They broadcast it. They got a singer that's singing my music. Lip singing my music. And so, there's that. Car crash. I can't get away. I'm going around the wicked clutch. I'm so fast. Something like that. I forgot the rest of it. Of course, basically, I was saying for so long. I mean, it's like I have to get an adrenaline rush in order for me to sing right. I want to go out and get myself some cocaine to get high from coke and get really energized from caffeine, cocaine, and cocaine is caffeine, caffeine is cocaine. So technically I can get some capsules of death, being AKA, I would call them basically cocaine pills or caffeine pills, and crush them, smoke them, It's so easy. It's way back in the day, where that stuff is easy to get to, easy to buy, because truckers are going to take it to, basically drive around. So, it's like, hey, I'm wondering about this kind of stuff too. They're like, wait, can I get this stuff now still to this day in 2025, and so there's all this other stuff that's going on, whatever it could be going on next. But, I tried driving to the clouds and all this other stuff, and I tried that. They just don't want to talk to me, I guess. Give some help to my real name back. Or give the message to the judge, I suppose. The judge, I ain't like, alright, how long it's going to take for me to go see the judge again. And then just talk to the judge about what went wrong. So it's like, what do I do to get it corrected now? I'm probably going to obviously I'm going to get an ID saying 1987, of course, go figure. I'm going to get a name saying, oh, he's born in 1987, 1981. Wow. Great, I got to be young again. I got to be 37 all over again when I'm 42 years old. And I'm getting almost white hairs almost. And basically, I'm asking myself, this judge doesn't get it. It's like he doesn't run an investigation on me about my name and my age and how old I am and what year I was born. For real? I mean, come on. I mean, for Pete's sakes. I mean, sheesh. It's like, basically, to all you believers in God and faith, well, guess what? God's taking a dump on us by taking all our people from us because we legalized weed that came from the devil. We legalized weed that came from the devil, and Mother Nature and the gods are having their wrath over us. Since none of the officers want to talk to me or I can hear their sirens, but they're just off doing other jobs, odd jobs and all sort of stuff. You know, they're over here, they're over there, in Broadway over Washington, they're down the road in Broadway over Washington, and they're just going zooming right by. They're gonna go zooming right by not too long ago and all that sort of stuff. So, hey, you know, all you cool cats there, have a good day, have fun. Bye bye, while we eat all the bees, birds, fish, and insects all over again. And keep on eating all the birds, fish, and insects. All the bees, birds, fish, and insects with marijuana.